Hello and welcome to this presentation of Intel AMT Commander. My name is Ilyan Saint-Hilaire and I'm going to be covering some of the advanced features of Intel AMT Outpost. So I'm just going to go ahead and start Commander right now. And on this machine I run basically Windows XP, Microsoft Windows XP, and I have Intel AMT Commander running on this machine with the serial over LAN agent enabled. So I can click on this machine, take remote control, say take control, and now I can hit the kind of reverse apostrophe key on the upper left of my keyboard. As soon as I hit that, if everything goes well, Intel AMT Outpost will pop up this little box and a prompt, and I can go and type commands. Now, what's interesting is that Outpost uses and binds to the serial port of Intel AMT, and I'm connecting using Intel AMT to the console here. This prompt will work even if all the network adapters are disabled in the Windows OS. So I can go in the Windows OS of the AMT machine, disable all the Windows adapters, and then I can still get this prompt, and I can, for example, use PS to enumerate all the processes that are running. I can say exec winmine, enter, and actually you don't see it on this screen, but on the Intel AMT machine, Minesweeper just popped up. I can also say kill 1888 to disable Minesweeper. So this is very interesting because now I can go and basically run start-stop processes on a Windows machine as long as Outpost is running, even if all the network packets are disabled to that OS. Another feature that's interesting about Outpost is that because I've been able to build Outpost and Commander together, they talk using a special serial protocol, binary protocol. So for example, I can say download, and I'm going to use the iflash.exe here. And it's a little app that I put in the main drive of the AMT machine, and now it's being downloaded onto my console for me to look at. Now it's about 250K. The serial port is very slow, so it's taking a while to download here. Now I understand there's a little bit of privacy concerns on the Outpost agent. There's a set of permissions you can control to allow and disable downloads, or to have the user be notified when a download is about to occur. So there you go. I've finished downloading the file. This save file dialog popped up, and I can go and say save, and it will save the file to my local system. I can also do upload, and it's the same thing. I basically have to say upload test file.txt. This is the name of the file that I want to use on the AMT machine, and it's going to pop up this box, and now I can say, well, I want to upload the sample data up there, and it's a very small file, so it's already done. And it's also possible to upload and download at the same time. So this is kind of cool. One thing that's interesting is I can do uploads and downloads while I'm using the console here and typing commands. And the reason that can happen is because I have the special escape codes, and I can interweave the console commands along with the file upload and download and binary data that I have. Another feature that I can show is the serial agent menu. I can say process monitor, and it will show all the processes that are running on the remote machine, the remote AMT machine. I can start new processes, for example Notepad, and say enter, and this will start Notepad on the remoted machine. It will show up here, and I can also stop it and say go. So basically the same thing that I've done here with the command prompt, I can kind of do it with this nice UI. It's a little better, and I get a little more information about what's going on. So close, and of course I can do that while I'm using the command prompt. Now the older, really interesting feature of Outpost is this feature called TCP port redirector. And this allows you to route TCP connections over the serial over LAN connection. So even though your OS on the AMT machine has all the network settings wrong or disconnected or incorrect in some way, I can still connect to TCP services on the other machine. So for example, here I've routed port 88 of my local machine, machine I have here, with port 80 of the AMT machine. And I happen to have a web server running on the other machine. So I'm going to go and open up Internet Explorer. Then I'm going to go and select this web address. And now I've opened up 127.0.0.1 port 88, which is my own IP address, port 88. And I'm opening up a file. Now what's happening is that port 88 is mapped to the remote machine port 80. And if I hit Control Refresh to force a refresh, you can see that the byte count here is going up. You see the byte count going up here too. There's one TCP connection being remapped. And you see the picture being downloaded. Now this could be any web pages. I support multiple connections on the same binding and so on and so forth. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. Now loading web pages on a machine that's not configured with its network correctly is one thing. But one other thing I can do is run VNC, which is the ability to take control of the screen. Now I've routed port 90 of my local machine to the default VNC port on the remote machine. I'll say connect. I'll type in my password. And there you go. Now what I'm looking at is the remote machine, the machine that's actually supports AMT, and I can go and start doing things with it. Going into menus and so on and so forth. One thing to note is that when you install VNC to do this demo on the other machine, I'll do it here, I'll just click on that. There's something called loopback only here, or allow loopback connections. Normally this is off because the VNC server doesn't allow connections on the local port. But here all the connections for VNC happen on the local port, so just make sure you turn these options on when before you're doing your demo. So anyway, so these are just a few of the kind of cool features that AMT Outpost provides along with AMT Commander. I do encourage you to try it because it's kind of cool, especially when you show how this works when you have the remote network cards all disabled and you can still control the machine. It's very cool. Of course, one of the other benefits of using serial over LAN is that I still use the authentication of AMT, which is a very robust authentication before I can go and access my agent. So this allows a little bit more robustness. Anyway, thank you and have a great day. Thanks for watching.